Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you so very much for tuning in to 98.3 FM, The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I come at you every single Monday night to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you miss any of today's episode, you can tune in later in the week. It'll be up on the podcast, which is Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. Obviously, anywhere you listen to podcasts. I'm always on a quest to find some industry best, some incredible guests. And today, I'm telling you, I knocked it out of the park. It seems like every week I get someone better and better and better. This one, we set the bar so high. This is incredible. All right. I try to be happy. I really go out of my way to be as happy as I possibly can. And I found someone who is even happier. And I'm going to introduce my good friend Betty. And Betty, I'm going to turn on your mic in a second. Make sure the mic's really close to your mouth there. That right there, number 3. Can you hear me? Yeah, you got it. Yeah, we want to make sure that everyone can hear you. And so please, without further ado, Betty, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell the world who you are.
Right. Well, for one thing, I'm about the happiest person that you're going to meet all day.
That's right.
I guarantee that. I'm Betty Lawrence Water. I am a public health lecturer at Benedictine University in Lisle, Illinois, and in Dalian, China.
Wow.
I travel to China to teach public health twice a year.
That's incredible.
And the topic that we are discussing today is one that is near and dear to my heart. I became interested in happiness and what it was all about 25 years ago when I started reading various research on the topic. And I realized that happiness is really a science. It's not something that we just feel and we have ideas about. It has been deeply researched, and we're going to go into that in a little bit.
Yeah. I want you on the show just so you can agree with everything I say and then call me out on the stuff. You're like, Marty, maybe that's not exactly right. Or you're just going to be dazzled by my brilliance here, so maybe a little combination of everything. So, Betty, you've listened to a few of the shows, so you know what it's about, that we just really, no matter what the guest is or whoever the guest is, no matter what the topic we pick, we try to tie it back to happiness, right? And my company is Master Happiness. And a lot of people go, "Oh, you're the master of happiness." I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I am trying to master happiness like everybody else. I'm not the master of it yet. I haven't reached that level yet." But after talking to you the first time we ever met, I talked with you and I was like, "Oh, I might have met the master of happiness right here." So I am looking forward to sharing the airwaves with you. And I like the way that you started with this, as happiness as science, because I was going to get into this whole idea of what we're going to be doing today is just for you listeners, is we're going to do a 3-part series on happiness. And today what we're doing is we're talking about the foundation of happiness, We're going to get into that. Then in a month, the same thing we're going to do about overcoming the barriers of happiness, the things that are stopping us or that we think is stopping us. And then finally, we're going to talk about sustaining happiness in our everyday life. And so I think that it's going to be almost impossible for us not to kind of drift back and forth between those topics. It's tough to talk about the foundations without talking a little bit about the obstacles and stuff like that. So we're going to get into some depth there. I was going to talk about this right from the very beginning. I want to hear your take on this, Betty. Is I think that too many people treat happiness like a lottery ticket. They go, maybe one day I'll be happy. If I work really hard, if I do this and I do this and I do this, I'll be happy. Maybe, possibly, I'll cross my fingers, right? And I think that it is something completely different. You have the ability to work at it and make yourself happy. You don't have to wait. Stop waiting for happiness, right? So, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are this, that most people don't really work at being happy.
No, I agree with that.
To them, it's a spontaneous feeling. It's something that if they have a good day, great. If they don't, they're grumpy.
Yeah.
But happiness is really a destination. It's never the same. And happiness is not the same to all people. We all have different reasons, different views of happiness, different experiences involving our happiness. So it's something we have to work at. And we have to be conscious of the fact that it's not stagnant. I mean, it isn't stationary all the time. It's going to be up and down, up and down. It's a journey,
There you go. You know what?
not a
There you
destination.
go. Oh, good, good. Because I was like, wow, you started out with happiness is a destination. I was like, wow, I'm going to disagree with her so quickly. It's got to be happiness has got to be the journey. You've got to enjoy the journey. I heard somebody else say something. They used the term, which I kind of like, but I want to change it a little bit. Where it was, they said, embrace the suck. That's what they said. Things are hard. I like embrace the hardship because it's living through that hardship, living through the tough times, and understanding that I'm going to make it through this because there's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, right? There's something exciting over there, but if I can enjoy the journey and embrace it and say I'm feeling good because I'm doing something, I've got purpose, I've got meaning. I think that's where truly believe happiness is found in that journey. Okay, so I'm throwing it back to you. I'm gonna hear some more words of wisdom.
Well, like any journey, let's say if you're going to plan a trip from Chicago to Los Angeles, you're not just going to jump in the car, well, jump in the car and drive there. Some planning has to take place. How am I going to get there? What kind of transportation will I use? Am I flying? Am I driving? I'm going to take the bus. Am I walking? After I get there, where am I going to stay? With my friend in a hotel? I'm going to pitch a tent. So the journey, any journey, takes planning. What am I going to pack with me? What am I going to take with me? But happiness is that way too. We cannot expect just to go out and be happy all the time, just spontaneously. Sometimes we have to plan for it, especially trying to be happy when you feel you have nothing to be happy about. There's some of us who feel we don't have anything to be happy about. And then there are other people who are happy today. And then maybe a week from now, something will happen that will burst that feeling
Right.
and they're not happy anymore. Um, the other thing is that there are different types of
Yeah.
happiness. Some happiness, and we'll call these hedonistic happiness. It's like having a good meal. You enjoy the meal, your belly's full, you're having a great conversation. That's wonderful. And then there's other happiness, the etymonic happiness that comes from making other people happy,
Oh,
of service, giving giving a gift to someone. It made me happy. I gave you a gift today that's going
yes,
to
you
make you
did.
happy, but I was happy in getting it for you. And that exchange that we made, just that little thing made me very happy.
I'm sure it did.
So it's
I'm gonna cut in really quick because I do a lot of like reading Asian writings. Okay, because we know it's a different philosophy. There's Eastern wisdom and Western wisdom, right? And one of my favorite stories is there's a story. It says something to the effect of if you want to be happy for an hour, take a nap. If you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. Okay. If you want to be happy for a year, inherit some money. Okay. But if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, become in service of other people. And I think that is it. Make sure you stay close to the mic.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, there you go. That's
All
better.
right.
So I agree with you so much that I think the greatest joy we get. You're right. I can enjoy a good meal, and I am going to enjoy. Betty brought me some bacon maple donuts. Right after I just talked to somebody about how I'm trying to lose some weight, and now I get 6 of these incredible donuts. That I'm sure I should say I got 3 of these donuts because only 3 are going to make it home. Uh, so yes, I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to be happy from eating those, but I'm also just excited to have this new friend Betty who brought me these. So I appreciate it. Hey Betty, before we jumped right into this because both of us want to jump on the subject matter. Uh, I want you to tell them a little bit more about you and where can they find you. How do you want people following you, or you just don't want them to follow you?
I am on Facebook.
Okay,
I'm on X. I'm on is it Blue Sky?
LinkedIn.
X, LinkedIn. Yeah, I am definitely on LinkedIn. And you just put my name in there, Betty with an E, Bette, Lawrence Water, Lawrence hyphen Water. And you'll find me. I'll pop up. I'm everywhere.
There you go. I love it. I love it. So, Betty, part of the show here, the reason it's called Bacon Bits, okay, is because I truly believe everything bacon touches becomes just a little bit better, right? It's just one of those magical things that it'll make a salad better. It'll make a steak better. It'll make everything, a baked potato. It just makes it better. But for what we do here, we can't be eating bacon on the radio. This wouldn't help people. So we're not doing the bacon for chewing. We're doing the bacon for doing. Okay. So
Okay.
we use the acronym BACON. And so I use this as kind of a loose outline for what we're going to talk about. Now I'm going to lay out these things, these five little terms, these short sentences that are the BACON of today. And we can see how many of these we hit on. We kind of use it, like I said, as a loose outline for the show. And then let's see where the show takes us. So the bacon for today on this idea of the foundational ingredients of happiness, the foundation of happiness starts with B is for belief. Okay. It's this whole idea that you have to believe you can be happy. You have to believe in happiness. You have to believe that you're going to work hard for it and it'll happen. So that's B. A is alignment, and we'll get into that about don't want a certain thing, but then do other things and wonder why your dreams aren't coming true. I wish if this happened, I would be happy, but yet I'm not going to work at it. Right. So A is that alignment. C is for connection, and we've talked about this. It's so important as human beings that we have people around us. We make some type of connections. And it's not just our loved ones. It is the community. It's the world in general. We should be working towards connections. O is going to be ownership. And it's really important when hard times hit you, it's important for you to own up to it and say, yes, I made mistakes. I'm going to grow from it. I'm going to move on forward. So ownership is very important on my quest to happiness. And N is for now. Stop worrying about the past. Stop worrying about the future. I don't want any depression or anxiety. We're talking about how do we concentrate in the now? Okay. Because there's so many wonderful things happening right now. For me, I'm going to tell you one of the most wonderful things right now. I've been doing this show. This is the fifth season of the show, talking about happiness. And finally, for the first time, I get somebody on the show who's an actual happiness, a true happiness guru. All right. That minutes with her, the first time I met her, I just picked up so much information. I was like, I want to wrap her up and take her home. All right. All right. So so Betty, I'm challenging you to see if I can actually be happier than you. Okay.
Okay.
All
Now,
right.
I want to tell you something.
Go ahead.
Have you
No,
got
no,
something else to
no. I was
say?
going to say I'm handing it back over to you.
Okay. What I want to tell you is that happiness, 50% of our ability to be happy is genetic.
Really?
Yes, research has shown, this is Harvard University
Okay.
and Stanford University have shown that 50% of happiness is related to the genes that we
Okay.
inherit. So if you have a parent or a grandparent, a relative who tends to have depression and not a very good sense of humor, you have inherited, well, more than likely have
Right.
inherited that gene.
Ooh. Okay.
The good news, and also only 10% of happiness is based on material things,
That.
income, the wealth that we inherit, the things that we acquire.
Yeah. That's definitely not lasting happiness. Not at all.
Right.
Right.
But we have control over the remainder. Those are the choices we make in life, how we see others and how we view ourselves, our ability to be determined that we're going to find happiness wherever that may be and in whatever way, whether it's a hobby, whether it's meeting new people, whether it's falling in love.
I love it.
The
Yes.
thing, though, is that some of these things are not permanent. They don't go on. You can fall in love. It's not healthy to have that feeling that you feel then all the time, 100% of the
Right.
time.
Right.
So no one could sustain total happiness every day, 24 hours a day.
No.
It's not realistic.
Right, and I'm gonna take that further. It's the whole idea of going, I don't think we would even appreciate or understand happiness if we were elated all the time. I truly believe in the whole idea of yin and yang, that I truly can't understand happiness until you understand sadness or fear or anger. I need that as a contrast. It's the same thing. I can't see ugliness unless I've seen beauty, and I can't see beauty unless I've seen ugliness. I need some type of comparison like that. And so, as much as I like eating bacon, okay, I wouldn't want to eat bacon every day for every meal and nothing else because I'd get sick and tired of it, right? It would be I couldn't love it as much because part of it is wanting it and working towards getting it. That's part of it. That's what makes it so special.
So true.
Yeah. So
True.
I'm throwing it back to you. I want to hear some more of this wonderful stuff from you. Let's talk a little bit about belief. Now, you said that a percentage of this is genetic. Like I have a genetic connection to happiness. So that means that there are some people who like what percentage of my happiness is genetic? In other words, how can I beat that if it's in my genes?
And you can beat it when you're determined to beat.
Okay.
Uh, make up your mind that I'm going to be a happier person. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to do the work, lay the foundation for having a happier me.
There you go.
When you hear people say, I'm going to be the best person
Version.
I can be,
Yeah,
best version of myself that I can be.
that's it.
That's true. We have to work at it. And sometimes it isn't easy. Sometimes it's very difficult. I think some people know that during the COVID, I lost 8 close family members and
Wow.
friends. And I was in a terrible state mentally because these are people I really cared about. I was very close to over the years. And I was just in the doldrums. And I'm thinking, well, I got to pop out of this. I can't
Yeah.
teach happiness if I'm unhappy.
Right. Right.
So my way out of it was to give back. So I decided I'm going to have a party. I'm going to have a party during a time when everyone is
Yeah.
staying home, wearing masks, not getting out. So I set up a Zoom party for my cat,
Nice.
celebrating my cat's first birthday. And 26 people showed up
Amazing.
on Zoom with their pets. We had turtles, we had rabbits, we had birds, we had cats, we had dogs, even hamsters. And we had a wonderful time just laughing and showing off our pets and playing games. We even did the Macarena on Zoom. That made me that was exactly what I needed. And for weeks after, I was getting notes and calls about what a great time we had during these very negative,
It was awful. Sure.
awful times. We were able to find something to make us all smile, and we did.
And I'll tell you, it's like you had said, we have to work on this, and it's easier. It's so much easier to give up. It's so much easier to go, I'm not gonna try I'm not gonna try hard enough. This is why we get into this belief thing that a lot of people say, "I'll be happy when," or "I don't deserve to be happy." It's like, no, snap out of that. Everyone deserves to be happy. Okay, don't hurt other people, don't step on other people, but find your way of being happy. You know, what I love is we talked the one time about your cat's birthday party, and I think I shared with you during COVID, we started doing those things. We had a thing we called Thirsty Thursdays. Okay. And it was all the neighbors. We would get together on Zoom and just have a couple cocktails and talk to each other. And it was the nicest thing because it brought us together, even though we couldn't touch each other. It still was a great way for us to get together. And then when they kind of were lifting it and it was summertime, we would meet in somebody's driveway and people would sit in different corners of the driveway. We were like 10, 15 feet apart, right? Just because we needed that human connection.
Connection.
Right, right. And it's beautiful to be able to do something like that. And that's where it comes in. You got to put in the work. Okay. It would have been really easy for all of us to say, well, we'll just live this out. We'll see what happens and get sadder and sadder and sadder. But we said, no, we're not going to sit back. We're going to go out and do something about this because I have control over my own happiness, and I'm not going to let this disease that's keeping me housebound control my own my happiness.
Well, the other thing that I did was sometimes, you know, I tend to be an extrovert, but there are times that I want to be alone. So I took up the hobby of crocheting. My father taught me to crochet when I was 12 years old, and now I'm older, but I decided I was going to crochet again. This is also during COVID. I crocheted 46
That's
Afghans
beautiful.
for the homeless.
Amazing.
And I took those blankets out and I just at random, I gave homeless people the gift that
Right.
I had made. And every stitch, every piece that went into the Afghans was filled with love and honor and respect for them. That energy, I covered everything with that
Yeah.
energy. And I
Yeah.
went out I on the street and I gave each one of them uh, a gift from me, and it made them for some of them made them feel so privileged.
Of course.
But
Right.
for me, it was even more so because I had given back, I'd helped people, I'd brought a little positivity into their lives too. And it was another feeling of happiness I cannot describe.
Bet. I'll bet. I think what it goes into is this idea I had heard that first off, like you just said, if I receive a gift from somebody, somebody treats me nice, I'm happy. Just like you gave me those donuts, I got happy. You got happy from giving them to me, right? It's a different type, a different level of happiness. It's a different type of happiness. But then they said that even people who witness an act of kindness like that also get that same elation, right? And so that's why when you had him here, I was making sure I was telling all these people, "Hey, look at this!" And you saw Ron as he was leaving. It's like, "Well, I ain't eating those, but those are all right," And he was happy about the same thing. And that's the power of it. Now, there's one thing I want to ask you about. I want to pick your brain on this because we're almost down to the bottom of the hour already. Can you believe
Okay.
we're about halfway through? Which is this is what happens when you're having fun. Is I believe in another aspect of I call it covert kindness. Okay, so the idea is I want to do a good deed for someone, but then run away because if I wait for the thank you, then to me it becomes a transaction and not a good deed, right? So what I want to do is give someone something and disappear. I want to see like from a distance them going, who did this for me? Who helped me like this, right? And not stand and wait for the thank you, right? And there's something that so then I know within me all that happiness is the stuff that's bubbling up inside me. I don't have to get the happiness from someone else. No one has to thank me. I just want to feel that I say to myself, I did something really good for a complete stranger and they don't know who did it. And
Exactly.
I'll tell you that is pure bliss.
And we've done that. My husband and I have done that going through the McDonald's
There you go.
to pay for the car behind us.
There you go.
Just to make them happy. We don't know them, they don't know us. So you're right about that.
And it's something, isn't it just more fun? Like you're giddy because I want to talk to them and say, did you know who did that? We did that. You almost want to talk to them, but you're like, nope, can't do that. And so sometimes I find myself when I, talk about like I do some volunteer work and I do some all kinds of things. And then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to talk about it because it defeats it because I was doing that stuff quietly
Right.
behind the scenes and I don't want to talk about it. But I also then go, but I want to talk about it because maybe if I mention it, someone else goes, I want to do that too. Right. And I think there's so much power in that because if I can help one person help other people. Wow, what a great purpose. What a great purpose I have in life, right? Right. So we're about at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds here. Give us a piece of wisdom that we can take away and then we're going to come right back.
Okay, here's a piece of wisdom for you. Sometimes happiness, a simple thing like forgiveness, Maybe you've been carrying a grudge against a coworker or family member, a neighbor for a long time. Once you make up your mind to forgive them, to go over what happened and see if there's any way you can find in your heart to forgive them, that opens that door to happiness a little bit wider as
Yes.
well. So forgiveness is a good place to start.
I absolutely love it. I love it. All right, please, nobody go away. We're going to come back and after this couple of just a few messages. I'm not even going to play a bunch of messages because I want to get back to happiness. I have this fantastic. It is Betty Lawrence Water, right? Not waters, water, right? Betty Lawrence
Correct.
Water. You can find her all over the place. She's a happiness coach. She is just bubbling over with joy. And so we got another 30 minutes of this. All right, so please stay tuned and we will be right back. And we are back. We are back with an incredible guest, my good friend, which right before the break, I was like, this is your name, right? That's how good of a friend she is. It is Betty Lawrence Water, happiness coach. I tell you, I met her, listened to one of her workshops, and it was exhilarating. All those kind of workshops, I always go out of my way. I always try to sit right up in the front row. I don't know. People sit in the back, they sit in the middle, they sit to the sides because I don't know if they're just afraid of being called on. They're thinking if I don't like this, I'm going to run out of here. But I get an opportunity to learn from another happiness coach. I get an opportunity to learn something new. I'm going to sit right up in the front, close to the center. I want to be able to hear things. I want to be able to see things. And so if you ever get the opportunity, hear this woman at a workshop or that I beg of you to just go fight over that center front row seat. Okay, because that's going to be the best seat in the house. All right. So, Betty, we're back with this about happiness, and we're talking a little bit about belief. And so, this idea is, I know we jumping around this whole idea that you've just got to believe that you deserve happiness and you will get happiness. But happiness as far as I'm concerned, is not looking at my neighbor's lawn, right? It is not saying, I wish I had what they had. I wish I had this. If you really wish it, then go out, work for it, get it. Okay. Instead, fight for this idea of make yourself think in a different way, change your mindset. The idea is that when you see someone has something that you are envious about, you see someone who has something, oh my God, their house is bigger than mine. They have a newer car. Be happy for them, right? Feel that joy within you. Be truly happy for them. And the first couple of times, maybe it's difficult, but keep pushing it, and be happy for other people. And suddenly the joy comes in. And then, so, because it ties to just being grateful for what you have. You're breathing, you're on this side of the grass. Things are really good here, right? So, Betty, I want to get into this. This is the B, but I want you to cut in at any point in time. If you got some other gems to talk about here, is because we talked a little bit about happiness being your responsibility. I want to talk about this. A is the alignment. Okay. Is this idea of what am I doing on a regular basis to work on my happiness? People go to the gym all the time to say, I want to get healthy. All right. That's great. And healthy and being healthy helps happiness. But people say, I'm studying these books because I want to get more intelligent. What are you doing? What are the exercises you're doing to improve your happiness? Because if happiness is one of your goals, if happiness is something you really want to attain, what are you doing to get there? It's not all, we can't all be blessed as good looking as I am with this godlike body. No, sometimes we have to work at those things. So, what are you doing to get happy? So, Betty, give us a couple secrets maybe on how we can stay aligned. In other words, come up with these are the things we want to do to find happiness, and it's not, and truly believe in it and live up to those things.
Okay. I don't know the ages of your audience, but about 25 years ago or so, there was a movement called Random Acts of Kindness,
Yes. Yes.
where school children were encouraged to do something kind throughout the day. It could be one thing, it could be three things. And what they found with those children who participated, their grades improved, their comportment in class improved as a result of being kind. And kindness doesn't needn't take on a big presence to make you happy. It can be the small things,
Yeah.
holding the door for someone, carrying a package for someone that you think is that you see is struggling. Those little things throughout the day make a big difference for all of us. You know, the philosophers, Greek philosophers, studied happiness for a long time. We're going back thousands of
Sure,
years.
sure.
Um, but the problem was that they could not measure, they had no way of measuring happiness or quantifying the impact of happiness. So here we go. In 1938, Harvard University came up with this idea. We're going to research happiness to see if there's anything to this. We have a lot of suspicions of the benefits, but we don't know for sure. So for them, it was important to bring aboard psychiatrists, psychologists, neuroscientists to help build a framework for measuring happiness, benefit,
Yeah.
benefits that it bring. And what they found out, this is 1938. This study started with about 350 people in Boston, Massachusetts, where Harvard is located. And they had people from all walks of life, professionals, housewives, people who were carpenters, laborers, whatever. And they committed to allowing Harvard to follow them throughout their lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
And they came up with a survey, a yearly survey, just to measure what was going on in the lives of these people in terms of their happiness. And it's amazing to me that some of the people that started with the original survey 84 years ago, I think it was 80 something years ago, are still alive.
Right.
What this research has shown is that happy people, people who are happier, make an effort to be happier, live longer. It improves longevity, it improves their health, their blood pressure, they
Yeah.
have fewer heart attacks. Happy people live longer and live a better quality of life. And we're not talking about people who have wealth. We're talking about everyday people. That's what this survey
Yeah.
measured. They started out with 350 people in 1938. Now they have hundreds of thousands of
Sure.
people.
Right, right. I love it. I love it that they're doing this thing, and I love how you just put it down to that whole thing. If they've got to work at it. That's the whole idea is you got to work at it. And a little I just want to jump on this and because we'll see if we actually get through all the other letters.
Okay.
This idea
All right. Go ahead.
of is I view this idea we always think life is these massive mountains in front of us, right? And we've got to struggle up a mountain to get to the top. And I always tell people when you talk about mountain climbers, people who do that, they don't spend much time at the top of the mountain. They get there and they're like, "All right, we're done. Now it's time to head back down," or the helicopter comes and picks them up and that. So if you can't find happiness in the climbing of the mountain, all right, you are never going to find it at the peak. All right. Yeah, and I said the other thing, what I love about the mountain climb is this whole idea. So many people spend their time climbing the mountain, looking at the people above them, saying they're doing better than me, right? Instead, look behind you and see the people who need your help. Reach down, pull these people up, and push them ahead of you. Because if maybe I can't make it to the top, but if I know I helped somebody make it to the top, it goes right back to what we're saying. I can't be happier than that, right?
Absolutely.
And so then when people are like, "Yeah, but the top, that's the pinnacle, that's the peak, that's where I wanna be." I'm like, "No," because when you're at the top of the mountain, you look around and what do you see? More mountains. And you realize you're not the top, you're just at one of the tops. And so now it's time for you to climb another mountain. And so enjoy the climb, right?
Enjoy the climb.
That's
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. That's where the true happiness is. Do the things that take effort. Do the things that are gonna pay off big and enjoy it, right? Enjoy every part. Somebody was just telling me about the first time they ever ran a marathon, right? A long marathon. And he said the happiest moment for him was not crossing the finish line. The happiest moment was when he was about, he said, I think he said 10 minutes away when when he realized I'm going to finish the marathon. That to him was more than actually finishing it, was
Oh,
doing that, right? And, Betty, I do this thing, I build these, rolling bars for charities. We build these things out of scrap wood, right? And, then when we're done, I give them to somebody and they take them and they raffle them off to raise money for charities. And sometimes people are like, "Oh, some of those are really beautiful. You just gave it away?" I'm like, "Yeah, because it's I didn't build it to keep it." The joy I get is out of figuring out how to build something out of scrap material, something beautiful, something that somebody else would want, and then give it to them.
that,
Because my joy came from the building, the thinking it out, right?
that's so true.
Okay, so here's something I'm gonna throw by you is that I believe, and I work with small businesses all the time. And I talk to them. First thing I do is create a list of core values. What do you stand for in a business? What are your guardrails when you're climbing that mountain? What are your guardrails, right? But I think that we as humans should create our own set of core values. These are the things. These are the pillars that I will not cross. This is what I want to be known as. Maybe it's integrity, creativity, whatever it is. These know those things. And if you're going to get a tattoo, tattoo those things on yourself, right? Right. So understand what you stand for. And then I love this is so you say, what are the things in life that I want? Where I sit there going, these are my core values. These are the things. What do I want to be known for? Right. I want people to come to me and say, Marty, you're the kind of guy who cheers me up. Marty, you're the kind of guy that I can count on. Marty, you're the type of guy who would never lie to me, right? So that's the first level. But now take it a step further and say, what are the things you wish you wanted?
Yeah. Just
So, in other words, you're saying, picture someone else. I wish I had the effort for that person who is so giving. I wish I wanted to be like that. Yeah, and it goes really even deeper, and I think that's that journey to make yourself a stronger person. I'm gonna throw it back to you for a minute because it's my show, but I could shut up now and then.
okay. Well, for me, what you've just described is my legacy.
Okay.
What is my legacy? What do I want to be remembered for
Yes.
long after I'm gone? I want to be remembered as the person who helped other people open doors.
Beautiful.
I want to be the person who was there when nobody else was. I want to be the person that you know you can depend on when things fall through. I want to be the person who made you laugh, who made you feel warm inside, and who brought you maple bacon.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I want everyone to keep pushing on this. I want to jump. I'm looking at the time. We got about 15 more minutes here. Is this connection? We understand this idea of connecting. We need, as people, we need people around us, and it's important for us to say when it's connections. It's not just my relationships. It's not just my wife and my kids, but it's got to be the people I work with. What's my connection with them? And even if I just see them for a few hours a day, how do I connect with them, truly connect with them? Then the greater part is what about my community? What am I doing for my community? How am I volunteering? I tell people if you don't know how to give blood. Okay. But giving blood is the easiest. You just have to sit there, right? And yet you're helping so many people who will never know you. Right. So it's a beautiful thing to do. And then after you're helping your community, what about the greater purpose? Is there something that you can devote a little bit of your time, a little bit of your energy for something that is greater than all of us. Okay, pick a cause, something that you stand for, and just put some effort into that. And I think those things, that connection, it builds me and just makes me feel good. Almost, it makes me feel giddy, like I can't fall asleep because I'm so excited about what I get to do.
I feel the same way. It's just energizing.
Yeah, you.
It changes my energy. I may be getting down and out about something, and then there'll be that little spark of helping someone else,
That's
and
it.
I'm back. I'm back.
I love how you and I work on the opposite sides of the same coin. I do a lot of workshops and speaking to elderly living facilities, the staff, working with them and trying to get them motivated to do their best. And we just found out, spend a lot of time with the residents and elderly people like that. Tell me a little something about that.
Yes. Sadly, a lot of the residents in the assisted living or senior,
Senior care,
yeah,
sure.
senior care have families, but they never see them. Some people go for years. They have no visitors other than the staff. No one comes.
Right.
And I make it a point, at least one day a month, I go to the assisted living facility. I visit with a woman. I learn to be what is called a dementia friend through a program at Rush University, where they train you to talk and interact with people who have dementia in various stages. And they teach you the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease and what to expect. And they give you an understanding from that person's perspective so that you know how to interact and communicate with them. And that is so uplifting, especially as I age. Tell
Yeah,
people.
no, no, don't tell me your age. Then I have to tell them my age.
Okay. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's important that we stay connected with people who have been forgotten. Um, we can bring happiness in small ways to people who have no happiness. They're sitting there day in, day out. Some people participate in activities, other people choose not to.
Right, right.
And I want to be the person that comes and I work with those who are more reticent, who are sitting back and they're not getting out of their comfort zones. They're not participating. I like to work with them one on one to bring them a
Yep.
few laughs, sing a song,
There you go. Sure, sure.
do the Michael Jackson's moonwalk. I mean, it-
Nice, nice. But I think it goes right along with what I was saying about the mountain, is so many people look up there and they go, "Oh, that person's got a bigger house than me. They got a more expensive car."
yeah,
They do that as opposed to looking behind and saying, "These people, I'm doing better than these people at this moment, at this one thing. Why don't I just help them?" And so this is what I love about you. You're going to those people and telling them there's a reason to keep living.
yeah.
There's some you can still be laughing. Okay. And one of the places I'm going to tomorrow is just that. And I see some videos of how the staff interacts with the residents and just everyone is smiling and laughing. And so it's so wonderful. Like I sit there and I go, I'm energized for going there to talk with the staff, to be the one who energizes the people who energize the people. Right. It is so amazing. So I want to get into this really quick. The O is in ownership. Okay. And what are your feelings about this? These people who blame the world, right, for all their hardship. I tell people all the time is instead of saying, "Look what happened to me," you got to live with a world of saying, "This is what I'm doing. I learned something from that. This is how I'm turning my life around." Life gave me lemons and I made lemonade. That whole idea, right? It's so important to be able to do that. So, what are some of the ways that you can help people? Like, what are some secrets people should know how to turn that around? Stop feeling sorry for themselves.
Well, one way is to look inside ourselves. We can do that. What have I done to contribute to this situation
Yeah.
that I'm in? And what are the things that I can do to make it better or improve the situation? And one of the things that I do often is I keep a journal. I love to keep a journal. And every day I write positive things that happen, negative things that happen,
Sure.
but the positive things, I try to look for ways that I can do more of those. Those negative experiences, I do exactly what I said. I ask myself the question, what did I do to contribute to this situation? And what can I do to make it better? And I write it down. There's something very sacred about writing
Sure.
things down. If it's
Yeah.
just in the mind, if you're just thinking about it, it's out there. But if you write it down, it becomes a thing, it's an object, it takes on a life of its own.
And I agree with you. The actual physical act of writing it down, not typing it into your phone, not typing in your computer, but actually grabbing a pen or a pencil and writing it down in paper. There's something about the tactile feel
Yeah.
of the instrument touching the paper, right? They even said it's even more with cursive than printing. There's something more about that because uh, there's something about the connections of the letters in cursive is a stronger neural pathway. It creates more neural pathways than printing alone. But even if you at least print, you print, doodle, do little drawings, whatever. But if you can do cursive and just write some things down, it just means something more to you. Okay.
Exactly.
I like this. One of the things I came up with here is that again I learned from many people, and I love sharing this is, and I'm going to try to start this. I have a notebook and I've got to start writing it down. I'm one of those people who, unfortunately, like I just said it, I type stuff in my phone. So I have to get back to writing it down. And it's this is some, I'm so big on the core values is I have core values that I stand by that are important to me. And so every night I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do it. I'm not going to promise every single night, but every night I'm going to try to write down one core value and then come up with one specific way during the day that I lived up to that. I truly lived that core value and just write about it. How did I do this? All right. One of my core values is happiness. In other words, it truly is. I want to be around people who make me happy and I want to make other people happy. So today's going to be a great time for me to start this journaling because I'm with Betty here, who is obviously making me very happy, and she's smiling. So maybe a little bit, I might be making her happy. Okay,
It's a
so,
two-way street.
there you go. There you go. So, other than journaling, is there another thing that you do that you would say this is almost a must-have for people? If they really wanna be happy, you've gotta do something like this. What else?
The journaling, the giving, small random acts of
Yeah.
kindness. The other thing,
That website, by the way, is still
is it
open.
still
It's a
open?
company I joined it, so I get an email from them every day. It's randomactsofkindness.com.
Yes.
And they send me a little picture with a quick saying. You can get into it more, but it is such a funny little thing. Like I open up the emails, I got 60 emails. I'm like, oh, I got all this junk. And then I see that one and I never throw it away. I open it and I read it. It's a second. Like you just
And
read it, then I throw it away, but I sit there going, that's a really good point. I
that's a
just love it.
gift.
So
That is a gift. Yeah.
yes, yes. So all right. So here's one of the things is people out there are saying things like they're listening, they're like, yeah, but I like, how do I get out of my funk? Let's say I'm really depressed because I'm thinking about all the things that happened in the past and I don't know what's going to happen in the future. This is that negative this, negative that. How do you get out of that? And I first learned this with my daughter when she was suffering through a lot of depression and anxiety, and the doctors taught her this. And I really, at first, I was like, this doesn't seem to make any sense. But it's the grounding exercises, the five senses, the grounding exercises. That when you're losing control, right? And you're like, like everything, the world's crushing down on me. Stop and look around and list the five things that you can see. Just look around and say, I see the camera here. I see Betty. I see the microphone. I see the computers, monitors. I see the green room. Okay. I list five things. Then four things that I can physically touch. Okay, so I can feel the foam on the microphone here. I can feel the buttons on here. I can feel the table, the edge of the table, right? I can feel my beard. Okay, all right. Then it's three things that you can hear, right? I can hear myself. I can hear some echo in the background. I hear Betty. I hear the cars out there in the out in the traffic. So, and then you say two things that I can smell. And luckily, there's not a whole lot of bad smells in here, but I still get a whiff of those bacon donuts. So yeah, there you
okay,
go. So that's
that's
a
good.
plus.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally, one thing I can taste, and I'm going to very soon. Okay. But just even in our mouth, we always have a taste in our mouth. So just be aware of it. And by the time you get through that, you suddenly have stopped thinking about that thing that was making you spiral down. You're taken so far away and you're using your senses in so many different ways and you're forcing yourself to think and you're getting out of the way I believe it, you're getting out of the emotional side of your brain, okay, where that depression and anxiety is locked. And you're moving to the logical part of the brain to look around for things and identify. And I think what happens is then it suddenly puts you in a better perspective, okay, and says, okay, now I can face this problem with a little more logic and maybe I can find a way out of it. Okay.
We're pre-programmed. Our brains are programmed to think the worst
Yeah. Yeah.
that can
For
happen
survival. Yeah. For
for
survival.
survival.
Sure.
Yeah, back during when we had to watch out for saber-toothed
There you go.
tigers
There you go.
leaping over us, and
Right.
so we automatically go to that negative
Yeah.
view. But like you said, thinking about using your five senses to come up with five different things, that works. I used that on the way out here today. This is
Really?
an hour and a half I came to be with you
Yeah.
today
And you were
on the
about 3 hours
freeway.
early.
And I was I was happy though.
Yes.
But I was afraid I'd get lost. I
Sure.
didn't
Sure.
know the
I appreciate it.
roads.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? People were cutting me off because I
Oh,
wasn't driving fast enough. And I used that ploy. I started thinking about
good for
five
you.
things I saw, five things I could smell,
Yeah.
five things I could taste. I
Yeah.
even put a
Yeah.
mint in my mouth so I'd have a little extra thing. But it
Nice.
works if you work it.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. It's kind of funny. You said people are cutting you off, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of those things that is the things that upset me, the things that are my trigger points. One of them is traffic. Okay. And I know it's traffic because I sit there and I want to lean over going, I don't know why we're not moving. Like, I don't understand it. I need to get a little bit of an idea, but I'm really fighting that. And I'm saying, all right, maybe I'm blessed right now. I have a few extra minutes. What can I do in these few minutes? Even if it's just ponder, wander in my head, try to come up with something. But with people cutting me off in traffic, I came to this whole idea where I said, what would make me cut someone else off in traffic? First up, what would let's take a reality check. Why would I possibly cut somebody off? Maybe I'm in a hurry. I'm on the way to do something. Maybe I'm not paying attention. Okay, that's possible. But what are some of the positive things? I'm on the way to go help somebody. I'm on the way for a job interview. Whatever it is, I start thinking of those things, and then I say, why do I immediately when someone cuts me off? Why do I think the negative of that person? Whereas maybe there's a positive reason that person needs to be in front of me, right? And so I sit here and I think, what's the worst? I'm sorry, the best case scenario for this?
Okay.
And the best case is maybe this is a doctor on his way. He just got called because they're in the middle of surgery and he's the specialist. They called him and he's on his way there to the hospital. And because I let him cut me off, he gets to the hospital just in time and he saves a life, right? And people laugh and I go, "Oh yeah, I'm sure that happens." I go, "How do you know it's not? How do you know it's only because he was rude?" It could be anything. So now when someone cuts me off, I smile, I kinda like give him a little wave and I go, "I just saved somebody's life. I let the doctor cut in front of me so he can save somebody's life. I'm a hero." You know?
What a great
Yeah.
idea.
So you look at the worst that the world gives you, but look at it with a positive attitude. Okay. So my go-to, and I'm gonna end this and I want you to end the show here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So my go-to here is this aha moment. I always say it's AHA, which stands for anticipate happiness always. So when I'm walking into a situation that I feel like, oh, this is gonna be dangerous, stop and say, why do you think it's going to be dangerous? It could be the best day of your life. So anticipate the best. Then, no matter what you get, no matter what life gives you, pause for a second and say, thank you. Okay. Because even if it's something terrible, maybe it could have been worse, or that terrible thing was there to teach me a lesson so I become a better person. So that's my two things. Anticipate happiness always and say thank you afterwards, no matter what it is. So Betty, we're at the end of the show. What's your closing wisdom? I know you brought notes and stuff. I like that. I like that
Well,
worksheet you have been
I'm
to.
a professor, so we
Yes.
always have
Right,
notes.
right.
Closing thoughts is think about the fact that being a happier person stirs up all the positive
Yeah.
uh, hormones,
Okay.
dopamine, um,
To-
oxycontin,
okay. Oxytocin.
oxytocin,
Nah, we don't want we don't want to sign we don't want to we don't want to push that.
Those where my
There you
mind
go.
is. Serotonin,
Yeah.
and the endorphins.
Nice.
When you're a happier person, you're stimulating all of those positive
Yeah.
hormones, which lead to better health, longevity.
I
You
love it.
have more creativity. You're happier on the job. People are happier working with you. So just keep that in mind that you're being happy, you're benefiting yourself and the others. You're getting 2 for 1.
Nice. I love it. So, Betty, I want to do this. I'm going to give you a copy of my book. This is my last book. This
Oh,
is called Manage Monkeys, Lead Lions.
okay.
This is on leadership. And I want you to flip through it because I have a little quiz in here to find out which animal it points out towards 16 different animals. Okay. And to find out, this is all based really on your ambition and your skill level. But what's cool about it is your way through it because the second half of the book, after you determine what type of animal you are, it talks all about how to motivate yourself. And
Excellent.
that's the part I think you're most going to like. And if you guys want it, you either have to come to the show or find it on Amazon. So it's Manage Monkeys, Lead Lions. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very
Thank
much.
you. I like this.
All right, so we're at the end. That's the end of the show. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. It's always funny that I thought, oh, can we actually contain all of this in 1 hour? And the obvious answer is no. There's no way. So Betty's going to be coming back the third Monday of every month. That's today's the first, and we're going to be doing this 3 months in a row. So this is April, May, and June. Right? You're still in it, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
because
Are
you
you
sit
here?
you sit here. We just touched on happiness, right? Right. So we got a
Exactly.
lot more dig into it, and we want you to check it out. And what we'll do is I'll make sure after the recording is done that we'll put it out there in social media. I'll send it to Betty so she can post it for people. And then by the time we get all three done, I'll do a special grouping so you can go to all three and find the links right away. So again, Betty, thank you so very much. Thanks for traveling so far to get here.
All
Okay, she came all the way from China today.
right.
So thank you so very much, and thank you for always tuning into Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. Give me a day or so to get the recording up on the air, and follow us again. Listen to the whole show once or twice. You owe it to yourself to listen to this show 3 times. So go to any place you listen to podcasts. Again, thank you so very, very much. Bye bye,
Thank
everybody.